Hello, welcome to 949 Racing Supermiata. Decided to do a walk around on Bullet here. This is our new S1 build. This was an S2 car, so it was normally aspirated 140 horsepower S2, but we're converting it over to S1 category, which is adds the splitter you see there, the wing, and more importantly a turbo, which is not installed yet. Turbo from Track Speed Engineering. Anyway, this video is to show basically what we did to the fenders. We thought it'd be easier, rather than doing still pictures, to do a oh, he's still got the radiator cap on there. Is that why it won't shut? Anyway, show what we did to the fenders. So a big deal with the this has got the one other change from S2 is S2 is a 9-inch wheel max. Actually, there's no max, but everybody runs 9-inch wheels. With a 225/45 Maxxis RC1, which is the spec tire. The S1 car, it has a 245/40/15 Maxxis RC1. Now, in the picture here, these are Hancooks. We threw these on just for test fitting because that's what we had laying around. But anyway, getting the tires to fit under an NA fender. The NA is the first generation car characterized by the pop-up headlights. That's the 90 to 97 car. And the fender's a little bit narrower than the second gen, the 99 to 05 in B chassis. Even though the cars are virtually identical, otherwise the fender's a little different. So if you just put those tires on, they don't quite clear the fenders. So what we did is we did what's called a pull here, which is to put a fender roller under here and basically stretch this sheet metal out as much as we can. Roll the fender lip flat and then pull it out, and it's just a kind of a labor process. You just kind of go back and forth, and it kind of ripples the fender a little bit if you're not careful. Take your time, put a heat gun on the paint to soften it so it won't crack. And then under here, there's a strut from the factory that mounts from the edge of the fender to the tub. It goes straight in, and this fender is normally about 1.5 inches wider. Well, we took that strut out and put our own in, so we basically took the fender and pushed it out like this quite a bit, so that when it's viewed from the front here, you can see it sort of shrouds the front, the edge of the tire. Big thing for aerodynamics is to not have the wind hitting the front edge of the tread, because it generates a lot of drag and lift, and you can gain a lot of top speed and a lot of front end grip simply by kicking the air out around the front tire. So that's what we're always trying to do. The air dam here, as you can see, is a little bit wider than the S2, because the S2 stops here because the fender's shorter. But when we push this fender out, this had to be redone. So that's changed, and then our splitter here is quite a bit wider. If this were an S2, this splitter would be, it'd end right about here, would be much narrower, because of course the S2 tire is narrower. So anyway, you can see what we did there. I'm going to tilt this camera. Sorry if this makes your head spin. I'm going to look up inside of here. Let's see if we can see. Can't really see. There's a strut rod in there. You see he's got pushing the fender out. Now this one you see here still has the bottom half of the bumper. We basically ran out of time here. We're going to get a race this car this weekend, but what we will do in the future is, oh, you're going to
turn the wheel? Turn
the wheel. Just careful so no put in gear there, yeah. What we allow in S2 and S1 is to take, we've got to cut it. Look at that, it hits the fender. It's a good thing we checked that. This will have to be cut away, but the entire bottom half of the fender can be cut away in S1. That allows for tire clearance. It makes it much easier to install oil coolers and whatnot. So anyway, that's the front. The back is a different matter. This is an Arios fender, and unfortunately I paid top dollar for these fancy JDM fenders. They're actually not that wide. And it turns out there's a company on eBay that's copied this exact fender about the same quality and about 1/3 the price. So if you see fender flares, you see what these rivets are? That's the shape of the fender overlay. So what we did is we cut away the factory sheet metal underneath here, and then folded it up under there, sealed it so it won't get rust, and then put this fiberglass over fender on and riveted on. So if you see these on eBay, don't buy the Arios ones. Buy the cheap eBay ones, because they fit just as well, and they're, like I said, they're 250 bucks shipped, I think. But anyway, they give you about 20 millimeters, but you need about 30, so you kind of have to pinch the fender to push it out. So I'm going to look under here now. You can't, it doesn't really show you much, but this sticks out about a little over 1 inch, about 30 millimeters past where the stock fender does. And if you look again from here, it basically shrouds the top of the tire. Now it doesn't shroud the front, but that's hard to do without building a spat or something that goes here and covers the front edge of the tire. There's not much you can do about that. This is less a critical area. You do ideally want to cover that, but it's not as critical as the front. The front is where you're going to get all the tire drag. So that's basically it. And beyond that, we just think it looks cool. So again, we thought a walk around video would do a better job of sort of telling the visual story of what an S1 is going to look like when it's done. So that's an NA example. Obviously with an NB, the fenders are a little bit wider, and frankly you don't really have to do much with an NB. You can just roll the back fenders, the stock fenders, in the front. You can roll them flat and the 245 will just clear. And in the front you'll have a little bit of a gap here. You'll have to pull the front edge of the NB fender out just a little bit and change the strut, and they'll clear. But essentially stock fenders and stock fenders on an NB to get the 245s to fit. So there you have it. We'll see you at the racetrack. If you have any questions, go to supermiata.com to learn about the race series, or 949 Racing to learn about the products we have for the Miata. See you next time.